Alright, YouTube. Alright, YouTube. Twitch. It's your boy Lolo. We back with another video again. Alright, we watching Wild Lil Nas X lost 69% of his fan in 1 year by Jamari. When did that nigga drop that shit? 4 days ago. Alright. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe, and follow me on twitch.tv Lolo Having, YouTube at Lolo Having, and IG at Lolo Having. I might have to find a way to add my social media in the screen.
So back in 2019, Lil Nas X hit lightning in a bottle when he dropped the song Old Town Road. This guy came out of absolutely nowhere, sleeping on his sister's couch after dropping out of college, and suddenly he had the biggest song in the entire world.
Then I find this beat on YouTube, which is the Old Town Road beat by this guy named Young Keo. And I made this song. It was like a loner cowboy running away from everything. And Old Town Road is like this path of success, and like, you know, we want to continue on this.
He paid $30 for the beat and released the track independently on SoundCloud.
That was back in the earlier days of TikTok, a platform that over time would gain a reputation for its ability to make unknown artists achieve hit songs.
Are you the... This song is kind of hard.
And
Yeah, that's true, but how did he lose his shit? Alright. Okay. How did that nigga lose 69% of his fan though? Like, I know he probably lost it because of the devil thing or something like that.
And with Nas X having a lot of experience on the internet in his teens, he already knew how to make memes and other posts go viral organically by understanding the algorithm through the best teacher, trial and error. So for months he relentlessly promoted this song through memes, trying to force a trend to get attention towards his music.
Putting it into memes and, you know, like kind of forcing it into the internet in a way.
Old Town Road became a meme on TikTok. People would drink something called hee-haw juice, and the song would start up and they might be dancing in a hip-hop manner, and they would jump in the air and transform into cowboys. Be dancing in a hip-hop manner, juice. And the
What the fuck is hee-haw juice?
song would start up and they might be dancing in a hip-hop manner, and they would jump in the air and transform into cowboys.
The song became a trending sound, and I really feel like the mixture of modern country over a trap beat really helped create this independent hit.
Is Old Town Road by Lil Nas X a country song? Yes. It is also a hip-hop song. It is a country trap song. It is both.
And once Columbia Records got their hands on Lil Nas and Old Town Road, they were highly incentivized to capitalize on its success, and really to make Nas a superstar while they do so.
How did you get all this money?
I made a song about horses.
And when Billy Ray Cyrus would hop on the remix only 4 months later, it turned this bonfire into a full-blown inferno.
If you go to my past tweets, like 2 days after I posted, I'm like, Twitter, please help me get Billy Ray on there, because I was like, Billy Ray Cyrus would be perfect for this.
He said, hey, we got this thing, we'd love for your husband to hear it. And I actually stood up out of my chair. I stood up and go, God, I love that. That dude is original.
And as a matter of fact, this song would have several remixes, featuring Billy Ray Cyrus, Diplo, Young Thug, various BTS members, and even Mason Ramsey, the yodeling Walmart kid.
And he said he had some really great news that Lil Nas X invited me to be on his song.
And so for over a year, this song plagued the ears of every shopper,
I hate. Oh my god. You could not escape that song. That song was playing everywhere. You could not escape it. I remember walking through a store, you hearing that song. Driving, you hearing that song. That's cool. They playing that song. Oh my god, that shit. Going to the store, you playing that song. Going to the park, you hearing that song. Oh my god, that song was on Instagram. That song, TikTok, you hearing that song. YouTube. Oh my god.
Radio enjoyer and really person in the world.
I just made it here in my bedroom, and now the whole entire planet is listening to it.
And as a result, Old Town Road would be solidified as one of the biggest songs of all time, racking up over 1 billion streams and topping the Billboard charts for a record-breaking 19 weeks in a row. This was actually enough to make it the fastest song of all time to reach diamond status. And you have to keep in mind that Nas had purchased the beat for Old Town Road for $30. And he recorded the entire thing in a closet in his sister's apartment. And really up until that time, the most notable thing he had done online was run a faceless fan page for Nicki Minaj, and basically create viral pop culture memes.
I guess I didn't realize like how great I had become at doing like internet stuff until people started telling me. So I was like, is everybody not using the internet this way?
Right.
But yeah, you learn so much like subconsciously just doing the things that you do on the internet.
So for him to come out of nowhere like this was unprecedented, but not unlikely. His understanding of social media and how it played into his blow-up really cannot be emphasized enough.
I saw you made that post on Reddit where you were like, what's that song that goes, I'm gonna take my horse to the Old Town Road?
Because I knew this is what people want to search.
I mean, don't get me wrong, this was right after the era of the meme rapper, but Nas X was actually getting the numbers to back up his social media persona, unlike other acts whose online antics really seem to outshine their actual music.
Hey, bitch, little pumping this shit, man. I just hit 1 million, and we celebrating with a Zan cake, bitch. Ask it!
Although I will say, Old Town Road was not with.
I remember that shit.
Zan cake, bitch.
I remember that shit. Oh my god, I remember that shit, man. The Zan cake, man. Ask it! Oh my god, that shit was annoying. 2019, 2018. Oh my god, that shit was annoying.
Ask it!
Although I will say Old Town Road was not without its own controversy, as people started to say that he stole the entire trap country sound from a rapper named Little Tracy, who had released a song 6 months earlier called Like a Farmer.
I got horses in my car like a farmer. Yeehaw, finna pick up your daughter.
What influenced the country? Were you a country listener? Did you listen to country, or was it just a vibe?
It was genuinely like I saw like one of these like country trappish kind of songs. I was like, damn, what if I did that but better? And you know, that's what happened.
Either way, Lil Nas X was absolutely popping off. He was performing at elementary schools all around the country, but
yeah, I remember that.
Many still questioned if he would fall victim to the one.
When he came out gate, oh, that shit was like a casket that went right open. That shit was, oh, when that nigga, they said, oh, when he came out gay, that shit was, that shit was like a nuke.
Hit wonder curse that plagued so many artists, including Billy Ray Cyrus himself, at least before Old Town Road, that is. But on June 20th, 2019, we would see that the dude was actually bigger than one song, as Lil Nas would drop a 6-pack EP. And in that moment, he made it clear that he was really good at blending genres, and essentially making whatever sounds he wanted from single to single. Nas went from something that sounded like it should be on a Scooby-Doo chase scene, to soft punk rock, futuristic, alternative, and even keeping that country vibe going as well. His 7 EP was positively received by the public, and the songs Rodeo and Panini were immediately deemed as his next hit songs.
What's different between this success you're having now and the success you had with Old Town Road?
I feel like I'm much more in control of, you know? Like, I feel like I have the reins on it.
Now, Amir...
Yeah, is it me, but his hair is bothering me. My nigga, fix that shit, bro.
10 days after he would more or less prove that he was more than a lucky artist who caught a hit, Nas would come out of the closet, telling fans on Twitter, some of y'all already know, some of y'all don't care, some of y'all not gonna fuck with me no more, but before this month ends, I want y'all to listen closely to Closure, a song that appears to be about someone finally accepting their sexuality, later confirming this by saying that the rainbow imagery used in his album cover should have made it obvious that he was gay.
One of your recent social media posts hinted towards you revealing something about yourself in the future, and you haven't revealed that yet, and fans are pretty much clamoring to find out what that is.
I kind of revealed, you know.
You've given hints. What do you think you've revealed?
That I am gay.
And while some obviously resented him for this, while others could kind of care less either way, many championed him for coming out at the peak of his popularity.
Did your family know you were gay?
My dad and my sister, but the same month that I came out, I told them pretty much.
And after this, the guy was absolutely everywhere. He was making music with Cardi B, DaBaby, who was red hot at the time, and of course the real Nas, who inspired his name in the first place. And at that point, it was beyond clear that he was being backed by the industry machine, and also that the music was actually good enough to keep him on this upward trajectory. He was getting billions of views and streams on these songs, not even considering Old Town Road and its 1 million remixes. It was like the dude could do no wrong and he was destined to be a pop sensation. Now around this time, Nas would fully embrace his sexuality in both his music and his performances. I would definitely consider this a transitional phase for his public image, as this was something he admits he purposely did, even when it was subconsciously trying to clap back at the haters.
Anybody that's pissed off are the exact people that needs to be pissed off, you know?
And at this point, it seemed like fully embracing the villain role and kind of pissing people off seemed to be something that Nas X really started to enjoy.
You know, my videos are much more like sexual and whatnot. And you know, I used to be happy that people would be like, oh, he's not like those other gay people, like all flamboyant and whatnot. And it was like, that's not a compliment, you know?
Going from using mostly comedy online to promote his music to now also using outrage to funnel attention to himself.
So what would you call what you do? Trolling, marketing, what is it?
It's all of it. It's all of it. It's trolling, it's marketing. It works.
Like if people thought he was going too far in his music videos, he would do something more outrageous on a live stage to provoke them even more. If his detractors said that he should be a role model for kids who listen to his music, he would do everything in his power to push himself out of that pigeonhole.
Yep. Hey, I remember that nigga give the devil a lap dance. I'm gonna definitely use that picture. I'm definitely gonna use that, bro. What that? That nigga would give the devil a lap dance. Then a few months left after that, that nigga claimed to be Jesus Christ. What the fuck? That nigga got everybody mad. That nigga would give you the devil a lap dance back shot. And the end of the video, that nigga make it look like he choked the devil. You can't choke. That nigga staring at me too much. My bad. That nigga was staring at me for way too long, man. Yeah, you can't choke the devil. You can't try to snap the devil's neck after you give it that devil a lap dance, nigga. I remember the meme that made up all this shit. The meme. Oh my god, I remember everything, man. Oh, I remember everything. That nigga.
Seeing all these other artists who are gay kind of just like pushed to like this box of this bowl of gay artists, and it's like you're here.
It really did seem like every single week Nas was doing something deemed controversial, but he would not find himself in real hot water until he released the music video for his song Montero, aka Call Me By Your Name, an allusion that refers to his legal name Montero Lamar Hill, where Nas is featured giving the devil a lap dance after sliding down a strip.
That nigga slide out. That shit was fucked up. Oh my god. If I had a kid, I would not let my kids see that shit. That shit was fucked up. That nigga slide down and strip a pole from earth to all the way down to hell. My nigga, how the fuck you hold up? That nigga grip. I don't know if that nigga know how to use the pole, but that nigga slide out all the way to hell to come and give the devil a lap dance, nigga. Lap dance. He was staring straight at my eyes. I think. I don't know, he was staring straight at my eyes when he was doing that shit. Like, you know, he was staring straight at the screen like he's staring at your soul, boy. Then at the end, this nigga make it look like he snapped the devil's neck. What the fuck? No, nigga.
Stripper pole to hell. This, accompanied by satanic imagery, definitely broke the internet, made a lot of people mad, while others celebrated what they saw as artistic expression. No matter what anyone thought though, this resulted in a massive hit for Lil Nas. I mean, at the time, he had even more monthly listeners on Spotify than Drake. Though I should note, this can definitely be a deceiving metric to gauge an artist's overall success. And he would even double down on the whole Satan thing by releasing a '97 Nike Air Max shoe with more devilish illusions and imagery.
I think they had blood in it. I don't know if he said blood or virgin blood. That shit was
including a drop of blood cemented into every pair of shoes.
The fact that it's on an Air Max 97, talk about this collaboration and how it came about.
With my song and my video, it was kind of like the perfect matchup. We came together and like this shoe, this crazy shoe is here. Look at this, look at the blood. That's insane. It's only 666 pairs of these.
Obviously, this would outrage the Christian community even more.
I feel like a lot of people are gonna love it. Some people are gonna be mad or whatever. Like, yeah, people already demonize who I am and put me in a painting of, okay, he's evil, he's doing this, he's doing that. So it's like, you know what, I'll take that. I'll be that, and I'm gonna make the best of it.
And Nike would even leverage a lawsuit against Nas for doing so.
This is about much more than shoes. Mr. Nas X, are you gay? Are you gay? What does this have to do with the shoes?
As this was an unofficial collaboration to say the least. And this would be the first, but definitely not the last time that Nas would go to war with the Christian community. From here, he would put out a myriad of hit songs, including Sun Goes Down, That's What I Want, Industry Baby with industry plant Jack Harlow, as well
calling Jack Harlow industry plays crazy.
As other songs that were well received. Though at that time, he would admit that he feared that his career and overall identity would always be wrapped up in Old Town Road.
Did you ever feel like Old Town Road was bigger than you?
Yeah, definitely.
At one time it was, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was something that he had to learn to accept.
I have this on because I resented Old Town Road for so long, and it's like, no, that's a blessing, that's a gift from God. Yeah.
During these next couple of years, he would still use Twitter virality and other antics to promote his music, but for the most part, he would stay out of the limelight from 2022 through 2023. But at the top of last year, 2024, Lil Nas definitely wanted to stoke his dimming fire once again, as he seemed to be hitting a bit of a lull in his career. I mean, don't get me wrong, the numbers were still, as he seemed to be hitting a bit of.
Yeah, I'm definitely using that picture for this picture. I'm definitely using that picture.
A lull in his career. I mean, don't get me wrong, the numbers were still strong, but his audience and streaming numbers, as well as his social media growth, was essentially cut in half. And this was while still releasing singles on a pretty normal basis. After all, with him being a pop artist, an album does not necessarily mean much, and I feel like his, or at least the label's strongest strategy, was to try and make every song a spectacle. Meaning, fuck this big body of work, we want the next big hit. And so he turned to his old bag of controversy, going even harder at Christianity directly with his song Jake.
Yeah, that's the song that's fucking got it. That's the song that got it. That's the song I'm talking about.
Christ, where he is pictured as his version of Jesus Christ as well as the devil.
Yep. That's the one
This was clearly meant to be his next big single, his next Montero moment if you will, but it completely struck out compared to his other songs that had controversy centered around them, and even people who weren't Christian took offense to his depiction of himself up on the cross. But once again, Nas would come from this standpoint that everyone was taking him too seriously and that he really meant no harm.
But I also didn't mean to like mock. This wasn't like a fuck you to you people, fuck you to the Christians. Like, it was not that. It was literally me saying, oh, I'm back like Jesus. Like, that was like the whole thing. I'm not the first person to dress up as Jesus. I'm not the first rapper. I'm not the first artist, and I won't be the last. And I know, like, given my history with, the Call Me By Your Name video, anything that I do related to religion can be seen as like mockery. That just was not the case with this.
But this time, people were not defending him the way they were before, and in turn, he would actually double down, once again cosplaying as Jesus, and this time mocking the eating of the holy bread and the drinking of wine, which in the Catholic community represents the blood and body of Christ, something obviously not taken lightly by those who believe.
And I will say though, with the communion video, with me eating the crackers and juice, I thought that video was gonna be the video to lighten the mood, to take it down like less serious or whatnot. I thought that was something that we all wanted to do as kids or whatnot, but I didn't understand, the reality of what it is. It's me eating the communion, which is like the symbolism of like Jesus's blood and bones or something like that. I don't remember completely, but I do apologize for that. I will say I am sorry for that.
Blood and bone, the blood of Christ and the body of Christ. Not bone, like the blood of Christ and the body of Christ.
That was overboard.
So by this point, Nas had pissed off both the Christians and the Catholics, as well as other people in general who kind of just found the entire thing to be distasteful.
And then, on top of that, like seeing like actual fans, like
that nigga look like, oh my God, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I am not gonna say it. I am not gonna say it. If I say it, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. That nigga look like Cat Williams. I didn't say it. I just said different.
Turn and
that nigga does
say
look
like,
like Cat Williams.
why is he doing this? Why does he keep messing with these people?
This was obviously a massive blunder and a move that Nas X would regret even more than the music video itself.
Then I looked at the video with me like eating like the communion or whatnot, and I was like, okay, this looks really bad on paper. This thing that I thought was just like a little jokey, fun video.
And like I said before, this song J Christ was an absolute flop. This would in turn hurt the mental health of Nas X, and at this point he would definitely shy away from the limelight, seemingly right after he was ramped up for his next big campaign in his career. I feel like it's kind of the same vibes of what happened with that movie Snow White recently. The audience had spoken and they weren't listening to this song, debuting at 69 on the Billboard Hot 100 before falling straight off the charts 1 week later. Comparing this to Old Town Road, which spent 49 straight weeks on the Billboard Hot 100, Industry Baby that did 41 weeks, reaching the #1 spot at one point, and even Montero that spent 35 weeks on the Hot 100, debuting at #1, this was obviously a really bad sign. Because now he had all this backlash with no numbers to make it worth it.
I can say as many things as I want, but knowing my history, they look right, I look wrong.
But still, months later, he stood by his decision.
Bleep it out with my hitters. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do me. I'm going to go outside. I deserve to be out here. I deserve the right to exist. Connected with something higher, and I felt like I was just having fun, and I want to get back to that and not just like, oh, I'm going to teach my haters a lesson.
And so he would be mostly quiet in 2024 besides the occasional random release.
What are you excited about over the next, 12 months for you? What's something that's inspiring, pulling you and pushing you forward right now for the next 12 months?
I think the main thing I'm focused on is picking myself up out of this hole that I feel that I'm in, you know what I mean?
And only a couple of weeks ago would he really begin to campaign for his new album, Days Before Dream Boy. This was released at the tail end of March, and it basically has created zero buzz online, with most of the songs besides the single Hotbox getting less than a couple 100,000 views in the first 2 months. In fact, I didn't even know this album had come out, and even Lil Nas's social media efforts have been falling flat.
I did not know about that shit.
With him seemingly unable to go viral.
This new pussy open up doors that ain't never been open before. This new pussy.
When you're doing motivational video, you fall down real quick.
The niggas fall in love. This new gonna make the bitches fall in love.
It's like he's trying his old antics, but they're not working. And this is obviously a massive shift from the time where he could post literally anything, and it was getting millions of impressions and positive reinforcement from the internet.
What does positive chaos look like to Montero, and what does negative chaos look like?
I think that the thing is, it's usually when I can control it. I've lost. I don't think I have the grip on controlling it. I feel like it does
a lot of what it wants now, you know?
And at this point, even with this new release, his audience has been cut by over 66% since his peak. And now for Nas, he's going to be at a very interesting place in his career. Because
let's see, is he quit or he got it out? Like, so he got it out. Which one you want?
Because without the numbers, the label has already found a new shiny toy to play with. And at this point, they are going to start caring less and less about Nas X and pouring absolutely no gasoline on his career. This can obviously make it very hard to release music, hard to get the budgets he might desire to try and go viral, and overall it's a really bad place to be for him after they were likely pouring a lot of resources into his career for years.
You know, I started posting the stuff that I wish I would have seen during, like, I don't know, a lot of dark times I've been having in my own life. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I wanted to share that with the people and, you know, get out of my comfort zone of only being, like, the funny man.
I can't do the gay voice. Is that me? Yeah. I can't hear the gay voice for too long. Like, I don't know.
And
overall, I do think that Nas X is a talented guy who has obviously accomplished more than most in the music industry. But at the same time, with him constantly changing around his style and sound, it is hard to get a core fan base. And after a while, I feel like the antics can start to hurt your career way more than they help.
No, I'm using that one.
Because it's kind of like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, but instead it's the guy who will do absolutely anything for attention. He also alienated his fan base with a few of these moves, and honestly, when your audience is on the younger side, they tend to move on to other artists naturally and swiftly as they age. And your only hope as an artist is that they either age with you, or you keep bringing in new fans of that same demographic, but that is extremely hard to do, especially in pop music. You know, the genre that is most dependent on the industry machine. So yes, I want to know what you guys think about Lil Nas X and the current state of his career. If I'm being completely honest, I do think that it's only down from here for Lil Nas. I don't even know if this guy can really catch another hit. I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious that the label couldn't really give a shit about him anymore. The effects of the memes, the effects of the comedy, the effects of the controversy, it's all kind of worn off. And I just think at this point there's really not that many people that genuinely care. So y'all let me know y'all's thoughts down below. I also want to thank you guys for watching today's video, dropping a like and subscribing. But as you guys know, it's been your boy the Tan Superman, and some other fallen artists out here need to be covered. So I'm out. Peace!
Alright, YouTube. Hey, that was Lil Nas X lost 69% of his video fan in 1 year. Damn, 69%. God damn, that nigga lost everything. Alright, YouTube. That was it. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to subscribe. We'll do 1K.